All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pow-wow stream. I am your host, Johnny Hellcat. With me shortly will be the Hay Camel. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the Manga Kid a little bit later. We'll wait till Camel shows up. And I guess this is definitely vastly a shit show. There are a lot of people pretty much on a lot of sides of this who are just not seeing. I mean, you look at the video. Oh, how's it going? Oh, I can't hear you. Am I muted? I haven't checked my volume. I can't hear you. Let's see. Yeah, Camel's getting his mic set. We got some dead air for a bit because there's no one here. All right. See if we can get these. There. We got plenty of dead air. I'm gonna look on Reddit. Sorry, you can hear the kids in the background. Let's see. 1 second. All right. Let's see. Actually, while we're at it, if you haven't seen Satsu 2 Cents, he did a video on all the videos surrounding the conflict between the kid and all the kids and whatever his name is. He did a really excellent job of putting that stuff together. And yeah, I will link his video in the description. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it's really well put together. And let's see, I'll also link it in the chat. You are let's see if I can get I'll see if Terry will come in. Let's see. I'll get Peter in here too. I haven't talked to him in a while. Right? Yeah, I'm all right. Camel's going to drop out and come back in.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sweet Jesus, hallelujah.
All right.
I don't know what was up with that.
Yeah, that was weird because I could hear clicking as if it was trying to connect. But yeah, it was.
Oh, that's you that I'm getting the. Okay.
No, I have my computer turned up and I don't have my headphones on me, so it's probably picking up a echo.
So
yeah,
what a day, huh?
Oh, it is. You can definitely tell who the blind faithful are, especially on both sides.
Yeah, I finally got to sit down and watch Satsu's video. I heard about it all night from Monkey and them. They did like a 4.5 hour morning stream.
Yeah, I watched the majority of that actually. I think I spent like $20 in super chats.
Yeah. I was sitting at work. My phone actually went dead there towards the end, and I had to plug it back in and switch earbuds. So I missed a little bit of it, and then of course I always end up getting late notifications. So I think I came in like 20 minutes into the stream. And I was like, "Oh shit, this is what happened this weekend." Wow.
Yeah. Actually, while we're here, I'm pretty sure you've heard Reza Aslan's.
Oh God, yeah.
I'd rather punch. Because he's talking about.
Have you ever seen someone leave the door that wide open with one tweet?
Yeah. Well, and then because of course he's like, honest question: have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's? And my immediate reaction was, yeah, fuck that kid. Because I didn't know the whole story. It was my immediate reaction, but I never jumped on Facebook and was like, oh, let's lynch this kid.
Well, but, my immediate reaction, I think I'd already seen, I'd already heard, the different perspectives covered, and then I saw video clips of it, and my first thought when I saw that Reza tweet was, "Yeah, you smug asshole." I mean, somebody actually put up like a side by side of his tweet and a picture of him. It's like, you're the douchebag that I would take a swing at. You're an adult, and you should know better.
Well, and then Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Terry. A call to violence against a kid and for the crime of standing while being harangued. I was almost thinking Harambe for a second there.
Hello.
Hey, Terry. How's it going?
I'm good.
But yeah, Direwolf replied, let's see if I can find it. You are a horrible person. I have zero respect for anything you have done in your life. You are a mistake. Or no, Reza Aslan said, I'd prefer to punch your face if that's necessary, if that's a possibility, felon. And
What a nice guy.
I don't know much about Dinesh D'Souza, but I hear some shady shit coming from him.
All I know is he went to prison, I think, for campaign finance shit. Like he gave somebody too much money.
Yeah.
And more than you're legally allowed.
Uh-huh.
And he makes he's like a brown conservative Michael Moore. That's my general feel of the man from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, he said that, and Rezan's like, I'd punch you in your face if that's a possibility.
Yeah, and he mentioned he was a felon too.
Yeah, and then Direwolf, you're a horrible person. I have zero respect for anything you have done in your life. You were a mistake. Mankind should endeavor to produce far better than you. Please conduct the rest of your depressingly ill-conceived and poorly executed life in a manner to least hold back everyone else. And I responded, is it wrong to say that he should have been punctured by a coat hanger? I'm not saying he should have been. I'm just asking if it's wrong to say. So I covered my steps there for a bit.
Very, very, very clever.
Because I'm not saying Reza Aslan should have been aborted in the most white trash way possible, but
you need to know the rules, and you're just asking to find out.
I'm just checking the guidelines.
Exactly.
I think it was brought up on Monkey in the Morning, or maybe it was somewhere else, that you had like the one big bombshell story last week being the BuzzFeed deal, complete smoke, complete bullshit, and they just completely skated over Trump giving his little speech and Pelosi and the shutdown. You notice that no one's talking about the government shutdown right now. It's Indians and white boys.
This is very true.
So I just find that interesting in all of this. Like everyone's getting caught up in the race, the religion, the demographics.
Yeah. Now, and there's things that I've seen in the video. Yeah, the kids are kind of acting disrespectfully, but
they're fucking kids.
But they're kids. Exactly. That's the thing. Is they don't know.
They didn't harm anybody. They stood around and they acted like dumbass kids.
Sounds like grounds for doxing to me.
And it's like if you're going to like what the guy should have done, and what a majority of like even just native folk that I've met, at powwows and stuff, they would have pulled him aside and been like, "Hey, this is how you do this."
Well, what I noticed in like the video clips I saw, at no point did he ever ask the kids to like step out of the way so he could, just be about his business.
He walked up to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's whole story fell apart, and apparently this is not the first time he has, garnered media attention for being an activist. And that's being as polite as I can be to an elder.
He was thinking of his dead wife the whole time. Surely that makes up for lying.
But, well, for me, like my interaction with, at least the people in my tribe and, neighboring tribes here in Oklahoma is we appreciate cultural heritage. We appreciate the community aspect of being a part of the tribe, but it's not the end all be all of who we are. And we're sure as shit not fucking marching in the middle of January. We done that already.
So,
So that Trail of Tears joke fell a little flat.
I missed it altogether. I've been reading this article from Indians.com.
Oh shit! I forgot about Indians.com.
That's the first place I went. I'm just like, there's got to be something on here of that.
I've been stuck on YouTube all morning. I was just about to get started on that mirrored video Satsu put up of the Black Israelites, because that's my favorite aspect of this story that is going completely under the radar.
Oh yeah.
P-Dog, he did his stream about it, and he focused on the Black Westboro movement that they are.
Yeah.
But God, I would that's the one thing that's probably going to have to get me to travel so I can meet people like that, because I would have loved to have been there to just be like, we was kings, and just get them started on that tangent.
Yeah. I do like how everyone was black,
That's
even the white people.
But I mean, that's just Satsu. He brought it up. P-Dog brought it up. Nick Monroe has been tweeting like a motherfucker since this whole thing started. But yeah, you won't see that on CNN.
No.
You're not going to see that on MSNBC or any of the network, any of the alphabet channels.
Yeah. No, the Black Israelites were my introduction to what's his name? Medicare.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he. My friend's like, "Oh, have you heard of this guy?" And I'm like, "No." Oh, you gotta watch this. And I knew it was either going to be hardcore porn or something funny. So, like, I'm really glad it turned out to be something funny and oddly horrifying.
Yeah, I found Medica because of Monkey. He was saying that he was making fun of that guy with the glasses. I was like, oh yeah, I used to watch that stuff way back when. I'll check him out. And yeah, that's how I found Medica.
I'm trying to remember how I found Jim. Like I really started nosing around on YouTube and everything after Gamergate, so Medicare was my first, my introduction to his first iteration.
Right, Internet Aristocrat, was that him? Or?
Yeah, that was him. Previously, like I guess at the height of Gamergate, from what I understand.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what video it was that I first saw of him, though. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but I remember just I was like, yeah, that dude's pretty funny. That's some weird shit. Okay, I'll keep an eye on this guy. I think it was like the Tumblr. He was going through like the internet insanity. I think it was some internet insanity or something.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, some of Jim's stuff is just disgusting, though.
Some of it makes my skeletal system want to like crawl right out of my skin.
Exactly.
I really wonder. I gotta check my my tribal website too, because I'm really hoping that they're at least.
God, I hope the Choctaw Nation hasn't said anything about this.
Yeah, that would be a bit annoying if the tribe made itself look stupid.
Well, like we also get like a newspaper sent to us, and it comes about, I don't know, once a month. Yeah, because I mean it's fairly small population, not a lot of news to deal with.
Yeah.
But if here at the beginning of February I have like some front page article about white kids in Washington D.C., I'm gonna be severely pissed.
Oh no, I will definitely be writing a fucking letter because there's no way in it.
Oh yeah, I'll be writing a letter to my tribal councilman and the chief.
Yeah, jeez.
No,
But
just teaching kids how to fish. That's yep, I'm good with that.
But it has been fun seeing on Twitter, like all the people who didn't like jump on the story straight away, just mocking the shit out of the idiots who did. Like Monkey's been relentless with Phil DeFranco, and
There's a lot of people being relentless with Phil DeFranco.
well, for the longest time, I mean, I watched Phil for a matter of months before I got bored with him. You know,
yeah,
and then just more and more. I went ahead and unsubbed, and I didn't pay any more attention to him, and just more and more shit keeps coming out about that dude. Where he is, yeah.
Well, I think it was
Polly loves rapping on that dude too.
he does.
It was Byro and Galactic Bubble that kind of showed me that it's pretty much the same thing every time. It's like, well, it's not really my opinion, but this is what I think about this.
Yeah.
Is Byro still around?
No, I think his channel's still up, but I don't think he's made anything.
I was gonna say I haven't seen anything from him in a while now that you mentioned his name.
The one good thing Phil DeFranco did do is make Roaming Millennial more popular when he covered the Lacey Green thing.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give him that. He's partially responsible for Roaming Millennial getting her break. But that's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
was still watching back then. I remember that.
Well, that's why I started watching him, was because he did the whole Roaming versus Lacey thing. And it was kind of just inertia that kept me watching, but I'm definitely sick of the guy.
Well, like for me, Phil DeFranco, he was just a more energized, mundane Matt.
That's probably a good description.
And I got tired of both of them for the same reason. It got boring. It got to the point where like I could point to something that I saw trending on Twitter or some other news story. And be like,
Yeah.
that's going to be in a Philip DeFranco video. Here in a couple hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he cares way too much about people like Shane Dawson and Logan Paul, and I just don't give a shit about any of the quote unquote celebrities in YouTube world.
No, me.
Like the only reason I know Shane Dawson exists is because Philip DeFranco won't shut the fuck up about him.
See, the only reason why I know Shane Dawson exists is because Bear made a video about him.
Ah.
Like I must have missed the episodes when I was subscribed to DeFranco where he talked about Shane Dawson. I got a lot more of I think mostly Jake Paul and then some Logan Paul. I was like, yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second.
And Casey Neistat, he's in love with Casey Neistat as well. I don't care about these people. Talk about the news. You're supposed to be a news channel.
But yeah, I mean they bore me, and the most entertainment I've gotten out of Phil DeFranco has actually been listening to Polly rip on Phil.
Well, Polly's great for when Polly gets angry, he's hilarious.
Well, all you got to do is mention him washing his smoking jacket, and that'll kind of get him. Like I dry clean it, thank you, and it's like, all right, now talk about something that pisses you off.
Yeah, I mean, Polly versus Coach Red Pill is still the greatest thing that's ever happened on Monkey in the Morning. It's just that was beautiful.
I must.
If only for the video clip that Farr did of it, yeah. I mean, she had that up. How fast did she have that up after it was concluded?
Yeah. She likes her memes.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, I was saying that the most interesting part of Phil DeFranco for me is listening to Polly rip on him.
Well, I mean,
I find that infinitely more entertaining than actually sitting down and watching Phil.
Yeah.
did they debate or something?
Oh
No. This morning, like on Monkey in the Morning, when he was giving him shit.
Okay, I caught that earlier.
And then Terry brought up the whole Coach Red Pill thing and how that was the greatest, the high watermark thus far of Monkey in the Morning.
And yeah, that was amazing because Polly was like, "Look, I don't even know you. I don't want to get into criticizing your stuff." And then Coach Red was like, "Do it," and then then he let fly, and it was awesome.
Apparently, Coach hit on Eve.
Yeah, I heard about that
in Tennessee.
That was funny.
Well, like the only thing I knew about Coach Red Pill before really the Polly incident was I remember him doing an interview with Medicare.
Oh, okay.
On his channel, and like I was going through and listening to some old, because I haven't listened to Medicare. I mean, what, maybe a year? I've been aware of him, really.
Yeah.
I'm late to the game to a whole bunch of different shit. So
it's kind of hard not to be. There's so much out there that you can't be like sort of at the start of everything. You just got to some stuff you just got to catch up on.
So yeah, like I was looking for like a Medicare videos to kind of get a better idea of what kind of stuff he covered and whatnot. And I went through like the Destiny debate, which I thought was hilarious. And then like the next one that came up was his deal with Coach, and I was like, oh, this guy seems kind of okay, whatever. But Jim was interesting.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what the hell they talked about now, but it was entertaining in the moment.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever heard Medicare get upset to the point where he was like, he is getting angry over the chat was with Ross. The kid who looked up little kids in tubs or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm peripherally aware of that whole saga, and that's as close as I want to get to it. It just sounds completely disgusting.
Oh yeah, and like Medicare was to the point where he was screaming at the guy, like. And I've never and all the times I've heard him, even like when he's like talking like doing a debate against Tongasa, like he was never that loud.
Yeah.
Like, he was verbally like you could just hear it in his voice how stressed he was about it.
See, that's another thing I missed completely was most of the whole internet blood sports.
Never seen a single thing of internet blood sports. The closest I've come is, I don't know if Ray Savage counted as internet blood sports, but Hammer was on her channel talking about MGTOW, and I watched that. So that's as close as I've gotten to internet blood sports.
Well, like I enjoyed a lot of people that were associated at one point in time or another with Tonka. I mean Sinatra, AP, Gasly.
Oh, for sure. AP
but yeah, I never actually sat down and actively listened to it.
No, but yeah, I mean AP and Ghastly are hilarious. I mean, Ghastly tormenting Scribe was just one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time. Where
but the crown still goes to Drunkle.
Of course, but Ghastly wasn't even doing it on purpose. He wasn't trying to wind Scribe up. It's just being himself and Scribe being himself, and just causing friction.
Scribe will rue the day that Monkey gets Drunkle and AP together.
Oh God. That is Monkey's dream. Ghastly and Drunkle on the same stream with Scribe. But I do remember Drunkle was interrupting to apologize for interrupting, and making Scribe even more mental about it.
Oh yeah, you could nearly hear the blood vessels popping in Scribe's forehead.
But yeah.
The same sound the tea kettle makes.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it looks like so far the Choctaws haven't made any kind of, at least on their official website. So, thank God for that.
So was this Nathan Phillips idiot part of your Choctaw tribe?
Oh God, no. But it always seems like whenever there's an Indian involved, it seems like all those activists come out of the woodwork.
Yep. Okay.
And
As much as I
solidarity and all that shit. No.
As much as I want to use the term "circling the wagons," it's pretty much what's going on. And like honestly, I will give what's his face credit. He could have been a bigger dick, and I mean, granted, he was a big enough dick to play the drum in the kid's face.
Yeah.
When I watched it, it immediately reminded me of the cowbell sketch.
Well, like Monkey made a good point. He pointed out like every time that dude's hitting that drum, that kid is blinking. He's like just sitting there like, "What the fuck are you doing, old man?"
Mm.
And that he's pretty much playing it in his ear.
Yeah. And what I thought was the best moment, which Sasu pointed out in his video, is this kid has got an old Indian dude banging a drum right in his face. He's got black Israelites yelling about homosexuals off to his right. And he can still hear his friend saying the word bullshit to another Indian dude that, they're in an argument with behind him to his left. And he turns around and scolds his friend.
Yeah.
He gives him the full Jonah Hill, like, cut that shit out, man. like that. Now that is a Catholic right there.
Pure evil. That's what he is.
He honed in on the one thing. It's like, hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't say the bad words.
Or is he aware enough to be like,
well,
we're white, so there's nothing here that could happen that's going to be good.
Well, I think it was more a case of, look, don't provoke them. Like, just ignore them. They'll get bored and go away. Don't engage with them because it's only going to make them more active and in our faces. I don't think he was considering the racial aspect. I think it was just, dude, don't get involved.
I think it was just a Catholic kid that heard his buddy say a swear, and he's like, hey, man, you're going to get us in trouble.
It could be that, too.
I think that's what it was. Like he picked up on one thing, like, oh, no, that's going to get us in trouble. No, don't do that. But I find it all just hilarious.
I do like all the standing there menacingly jokes that have been made. He's just standing there menacingly.
I like that one meme where they had that, but they switched it to it was a guy in a Trump hat harassing a poor Native American, and it was a picture of Trump pointing at Elizabeth Warren.
Nice.
I like the They Live memes.
I must have missed that, dude, because I love that movie. I missed those memes.
There's one where it shows Piper with the glasses on, and it shows like a KKK rally.
I see where this is going.
And then when he takes it off, it's just the kid in the
yeah.
No, I've seen that one on Twitter. Yeah, that was that's one of those movies that I've never actually seen, but I know the premise of, and it does sound good.
That's Carpenter, man. That's a classic.
Yeah, I mean
that's probably my favorite John Carpenter movie.
Okay, cool. It's one that I've heard about, but I've never actually sat down and watched.
Well, I mean, it's an '80s movie, so it's probably not gonna. I always feel weird about recommending old movies to people. Like, I got my mom to sit down and watch It, like the original one with Tim Curry.
Yeah.
I was like, how have you never seen this movie, Mom? Like, I've watched this so many times since I was a kid, because that came out in the early '90s.
Something like
so
that.
I grew up with that movie. I was like, this is so awesome, Tim Curry, Pennywise, yada yada. And we sat down and watched it, and I was like, oh wow, this is way worse than I remember. I mean, I still like the movie, but like, I'm not recommending it nearly as much.
Yeah, well, I remember watching it when I was a kid and was absolutely horrified.
Yeah.
And then my friends and I were sitting around, and she's like, "Oh, we should watch this movie." I'm like, "Okay." So I don't want to be the only one who's like, "No, I'm scared of that fucking movie." Forget you. And then, so we started watching it, and just like, this is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen. Like, what is this?
That's one of the reasons I don't like going back to stuff that defined my childhood, because I know it's not going to hold up to adult scrutiny. Like, I'm sure if I sat down and watched the Samurai Pizza Cats today, I think it was just absolute garbage. But as like a tiny little kid, it was the greatest thing in the world, and I want to keep it that way.
What movie?
Oh, it's a TV show. The cartoon, Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh, okay.
And as a kid, I just loved them. They were like the greatest thing in the world. And I'm certain if I sat down and watched it today, I would think, what the fuck did I see in this show? Why would I like this? But I don't want to ruin the oh my god, this is awesome factor for the Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh man. What was that? What else was that? Oh yeah, we're gonna go read that article.
So with the Indians article?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear what their hot take is. What does the Winnebago tribe think about? Yeah. Well, what kind of gate would this be? I mean, this is a scandal. It needs a gate name, doesn't it?
Solidarity rally held for Omaha elder taunted in D.C.
Smirk Gate, I think, is the one to go for.
Rally shows support for tribal elder at center of #MAGA confrontation. Sister of Nathan Phillips joins rally in support of Omaha veteran at center of confrontation. Nearly 50 natives and supporters braved below zero wind chills Sunday afternoon here to gather in solidarity for a tribal elder who was surrounded and harassed by a group of high school students last week. Now, you're really being loose with that harassment.
They usually are.
They gathered in what degree? What temperature weather again?
Below zero, apparently. Oh, below zero wind chills. So it was maybe...
Morons.
Yeah.
Let's see. Among those who attended the rally at the state capitol was the sister of Nathan Phillips, the Vietnam vet, blah, blah, blah. Many wearing blah, blah, blah. The incident, which took place Friday during the Indigenous Peoples March in Washington, D.C. See, that's why you got to schedule these things.
Yeah.
The Indigenous Peoples March. There was the Right to Life March. There was apparently the, We was Kang's March. And all 4 people showed up for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Elicited widespread outrage in the Indian country and beyond. No. I mean, the initial reaction may have been widespread outrage.
Yeah, I mean, none of the Indians I know give a shit, really. And when you lay it all out from, they're like, well, why was he beating his damn drum in that kid's face?
Is when I saw the supposedly bad, like, you know, the very first one that everyone was upset about, I still didn't see what the problem was. He was just standing there smirking while I thought he'd actually be like, "You dumb bastard! What are you doing? Get out of my face!" He didn't do anything. He just stood there. And I mean, I don't get what people are angry about. And then it turns out there was nothing for anyone to get angry about. But yeah, it just confused me. Yeah, even when I was supposed to be outraged by the out of context clip.
Well, in lighter news, at work last night, I had to reset the clock. Somebody came in their bathrobe.
Oh dear.
Oh shit.
I almost made it a full week.
No one got dressed for Jesus.
I mean, at this point, I might as well just start doing that. You know, it's like this work site has had 0 accidents since. You know.
Yeah.
And this store has had 0 pantsless patrons since.
Well, I don't know where I saw it, but someone was saying have a days without stupid customers and then sigh and flip it to 0 every time someone pisses you off.
Okay, I just read this and I realized I had to Google it to make sure that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. The quote, "I thank Wakanda for protecting my brother from the aggressive behavior of these young boys, showing anger and disdain for our people. The Nation," she said. And I thought, oh, please tell me this is a Black Panther reference. But
please tell me this is an Onion article.
No, this is the Indians article. But the Wakanda is, let's see if I can find it again. Let's see.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
When there were no white people on this land, the ancestors of the Omahas and the Ponkas believed there was a superior being whom they called Wakanda. Wakanda. They believed that Wakanda still existed. They did not know where he was, nor did they undertake how he existed. There was no public gathering at which some of the people told the rest there was a Wakanda, nor was there any general assembly for the purpose of worshiping or praying to him.
Oh, God.
So we have this God here, and he's just there.
Yeah, what a pointless article to write. I mean, we don't know anything about this thing, but it might exist. I don't know.
He's the meh God.
Very much so.
Oh man.
I mean, you know, I that could be one deity I could actually get behind. You know, if the whole thing's just meh.
Well,
meh doesn't seem like they're all that committed to it. Doesn't seem like they're, you know.
Yeah, I mean, meh is kind of my life's motto. You know, whatever. I find caring about things never ends well, so just don't bother.
But yeah, I like how like that article was talking about it was a scandal across Indian country. It's like, yeah, we're again, I find myself telling white people this, but it's also telling other Indians, we're not all one people. It doesn't mean the same shit to everybody that has some native heritage.
You're a hive mind, just admit it.
Yeah, there's still a lot of denial about what happened.
I just noticed Camel muted. I was just wondering why everything went quiet.
Sorry about that. My girlfriend just got home from work, and
Oh, right.
she came in to talk to me real fast and
No
take
worries.
our hounds out. So that's why I muted earlier. I had to let one of my hounds out of the room with me because she had just pulled in the driveway, and they like to greet her at the door. They're friendly like that.
Yeah, good. Dogs usually are quite friendly.
But she also came to enable me with some Mountain Dew.
Ah.
Yeah, if you hear some howling in the background of mine, that's my youngest.
That's what, sorry?
His kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you hear some hooting in the background, he has some office moments where he just gets up and starts running.
Okay. No, I mean, I can hear it in the background, but it's not blocking out conversation, so it's the door closed. It's a glass door, so I can see onto the balcony, but I couldn't get in. That's fine.
So, can I take a wild guess in how your mornings go?
Feel free.
Like you wake up, you do your normal routine, you go to the bathroom. Are you a coffee drinker?
Tea.
Tea? Okay. Well, you prep your tea, and the first thing you do while you're heating the water is you go out to your window, and you peek out, and your first thought is, fucking emus.
Fortunately, I live very far from the emus, so I don't have to worry about them. I do hate them though. I will never forget the Emu War of the 1930s, and it's a good thing that emus and I are never in the same place.
Oh, this is some powerful stupid I'm looking at here on some Twitters.
Well, that's what Twitter is for.
Check this out. Could you imagine living on this planet with 7 billion less people? Imagine how many species could thrive. Forest undecimated, no pollution, no greed or corruption. Sounds peaceful.
All right, bring on the genocide.
Like, all right, Thanos.
Well, I mean, Thanos stopped at half the universe. Holy fuck, lady. Can't let a man have anything, can you? You gotta be...
But, geez. Like, I get what they're trying to say, but obliterating 95% of the human population is not the way to do it.
I mean, Hitler's only credited with 6 million, and we can't shut the fuck up about him. Can you imagine if she actually managed to kill 7 billion people?
But the key word is she should get away with it. She's that time of the month. You know what women are like. Don't worry about the 7 billion dead people. She didn't mean it.
Well, I mean, just imagine the newspaper headline she would have to write because nobody else would be around to write it.
Well,
7 billion people killed, woman most affected.
I do like that. I think it was Tilde had meteor hits Earth, women most affected, and it's pretty true. The prevailing attitude in the media.
I want to respond to this woman, but this has me gobsmacked. I don't know I don't know what to say to this. This is wow. I mean, at least with that chick the other day, you know, I mean, you could see exactly where that was going and just put it out there.
I mean, who decides who survives? I mean, obviously she does.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
nobody survives. 7 billion, man. That's everybody.
no, isn't the world population like 7 point something billion?
Well, I mean,
like there might be like a couple of 100,000 people who survive if it's only 7 billion.
Although I do agree with Bill Burr's 85%. 85% of people have to go.
7.7 billion is the current world population, so there'd be 700,000 people still around if we got rid of 7 billion.
That sounds awful boring to me.
It does. I want the people to exist. I don't want them near me, but I want them to exist so they can generate the stupid so I can laugh at it.
Well, I want somebody to fix my computer when it breaks down.
That too. And to deliver me food and to clean my unit and all that stuff. Other people do need to exist. And Fugi is pointing out that those are rookie numbers.
What, 7 billion or Hitler's 6 million?
He doesn't clarify, but I'm assuming he means the 7 billion.
Oh. Well, I'm also kind of curious how she would go about doing it too, because you know, from following this chick, she doesn't seem to be in favor of guns, or I would imagine she's not all that crazy about nukes.
Probably not.
I mean, 7 billion people, that's a lot of people to stab.
and I bet some of them have the nerve to fight back too. Like, rather than just politely letting her kill them, some of these people are going to be like defending themselves. It just makes it even harder to get them all dead.
Maybe she is just a secret, like, huge Marvel fan, and she hasn't tweeted anything about it, and she just, she thought Thanos did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, just snap the fingers and boom.
And then she'd have to just be snapping her fingers constantly. She'd probably complain about the pain in her fingers from snapping so much. I was like, don't they realize how hard this is for me?
Fugi does bring up a good point, though, also. He says it's a woman. It would be nagging.
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't put it past her to nag 7 billion people to death.
Well, and I could see snapping is, as Jack would say, a form of patriarchy.
Yeah.
I don't know about patriarchy, but it's definitely ableism. I mean, think about all the amputees who are missing a thumb.
Oh yeah.
They can't snap.
That's true. I think everyone should have their thumbs amputated in sympathy for the thumbless.
Yeah, as I'm sitting there scrolling through Twitter, it reminded me of something I said in Satsu's live stream earlier this morning. He is more wholesome than I for one reason alone, if any, and that is he can scroll through his Twitter on a live stream without worrying.
Yeah, I can see stumbling past some suit yourself tweets.
Oh. Yeah, where he finds that stuff, I'll never know. But God, he comes up with some stuff.
Every time I see him tweeting that stuff out, the only thing I can respond with is the Family Guy GIF of the dude like melting. I think
Yeah.
he saw like some. I think he saw like Meg naked or something like that.
Okay.
And he just like like goes all was it Indiana Jones, just melts right in front of everybody.
the the jokes about Meg never made sense to me. Like she just looked like any other character in the show. Like, the whole ugly thing never really resonated with me.
I just think it's kind of funny. They have Meg voiced by Mila Kunis and Lois
Yeah,
voiced by was it Alex Borstein,
yeah,
and Meg's supposed to be ugly and Lois is supposed to be hot for some reason.
yeah.
I always thought that juxtaposition was kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. And it's like I just never got the Meg is ugly jokes because she just looks like any other character. She's not unappealing. She's just any other character.
I think we need to stop talking about the attractiveness of cartoon characters before we get on some kind of slippery tangent.
As long as we don't delve into Japanese cartoons, we should be okay.
Well, then we should be really glad that Jack's not here.
Like that's one of the reasons why like I never joined like Dankula's Discord. Like, I don't want to see that shit.
Well, I never use Discord. Like people keep inviting me to join their Discord servers, so I do. But all I use Discord for is the Minions link, and some people put the Jackbox room codes in Discord so that not just anyone can join. So I'll use it for that as well.
You want to say hi to?
I've been using it just mainly to let people know about like these live streams, and since P Dog started his morning show, I've been spamming that out to people.
Fair enough.
Well, not really spamming, but I mean, I drop it into the appropriate Discord channels.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do have a shill yourself or
Yeah.
Other promotion type things. But I'm always curious how many people, like I know a lot of people post there, but who actually goes through perusing the shill yourself section? Like, is that common? Like, it's not something I would do. I'm just wondering if there's a lot of people who do.
It's really awkward for me to navigate, so like I find wherever the voice chats are, and if it lets me in, it lets me in.
Fair enough.
Well, and then that's like I just thought I'd join an after party, thing because Skeptalk invited me in, and I went on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll just join in where everyone else is, and then I was like, I'm completely locked out of everything.
Oops.
I'm like, oh, I gotta go to work anyway.
Wow, Captain Brambles is throwing a bunch of MSS news today.
Okay.
Arizona lawmaker says porn fees could fund border wall.
Oh dear God.
I mean, on the one hand, we get the border wall. On the other hand, we get porn license fees like the UK. I don't know how I feel about that.
People would watch that shit.
Well, I mean, if we are using people viewing porn to fund the wall, what are we talking like? It would take an hour, maybe? I mean, it is a holiday weekend after all. Nobody's at work today.
Yeah, it's all the black porn.
I mean, we could start the eminent domain proceedings next week, break ground by the end of summer.
Reminds me, did you hear the Cards Against Humanity people wanted to buy a house on the border just to stop the wall?
Yeah, they don't seem to understand how eminent domain works. I don't
No,
think.
they don't. I just thought it was hilarious. This was their great plan. But buy a house on the border. So, they can't build the wall. Like that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I suppose
Oh,
there's a
you're standing in my way? Here, let me just arrest everyone here.
yeah. I suppose there's a reason that they make a board game rather than policy. But
Well, that's where you would just like like send them like some old news clippings of like Ruby Ridge and be like, hey, when the government wants something from you,
they take it.
exactly.
Well, this is funny. Like, I'm looking up the Jackbox games
Yeah.
because now that I actually am not getting my computer's not crashing.
Yeah.
I figured I'd look them up and see how much they are. I looked them up on Steam and it's $25 a piece.
Hmm.
I'm looking them up on Jackbox.tv and they're $18 a piece.
Okay. Well, I think that makes the decision easier.
And it's going through Steam, so it's really kind of confusing.
Well, how much do you like Valve? Do you want to give them free money?
Yeah, not that much.
No, then decision made.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And also another thing I've noticed is you don't hear as much talk about who all is running for president. Apparently, we've got a couple more people jumped in. So Kristen Gillibrand and Kamala Harris.
Well, I think everyone knew Kamala Harris was going to.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, the announcement coming now, it just gets drowned out, really.
That's true. But, I mean, I didn't hear anything about it, so it pretty much proves that you're right.
Yeah.
And what has she got working for her right now? Like for people to vote for her, aside from being a black woman from California.
No, you just listed all her her merits. Like, that's why you should vote for her. She's black and she's a woman.
I have the same question. I have the same question I had with Hillary. It's like, all right, well, what have you done in the Senate?
She was black and female the entire time. I think you're underestimating just how important that is.
I mean, skin color is a hell of a merit.
Well, I mean, I could go out in the sun, and I guess I could start running for Congress.
Sure. Just wear a headdress so people know that you're native.
Year-round tanning booth. We can look like what's her name? Was that Booth Mom or whatever her name, whatever nickname the media gave her?
Mm-hmm.
Tanning bed mom or whatever the hell was going on with that.
Yeah.
Okay. When the hell was this? Aaron Sorkin was on Fareed Zakaria talking about Democrats. Why does anybody care what a screenwriter thinks? Why are we taking political advice from this dude? Because he wrote The West Wing?
Well, who else are we going to get our info from?
I mean, it was a decent show, but like I wouldn't put stock in his policy decisions based off of that.
I think you're underestimating just how significant being a screenwriter is. That makes you qualified for stuff.
All right.
Well, I mean, I liked A Few Good Men, but I ain't hiring him as my fucking lawyer either.
You just don't get it.
I guess not, dude. Like, I don't care if he can send me home in 6 months. I ain't taking that deal.
If someone commits murder, you want Tony Shalhoub to investigate because he was Monk. If what's a good lawyer show?
Matlock.
There you go. Andy
You
Griffiths.
can go with Andy. Not Andy Griffiths.
Perry Mason.
Well, Perry Mason is one. You go with Law and Order. That covers.
Oh, see, that's always the prosecutors, though, man. They don't ever give you like a good defense attorney in those shows.
Well, you got Richard Brooks. He was always really good. All he did was like, what?
He was the
I'm black.
he was the assistant DA, man.
Well, he became a defense attorney afterwards.
Yeah, but I'm not black, so he's not going to help me.
He took on a white defendant.
God, see, that was so long ago. I don't remember that episode.
Once,
yeah.
No, it was. If I remember correctly, it was someone who was either spouting white supremacist bullshit or it was rumored white supremacist bullshit. Like,
I think this would be part of our stream lore if we ever keep going. Something about Indians and something about Law and Order every time.
And it always brings up IMDb.
I'm starting to see a pattern here, guys.
Yep. So, what percent Native American are you, Camel? Is it a quarter? Am I remembering right?
I am registered as 1/8. So
1/8. Okay.
12.5% by government standards.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out how many Elizabeth Warrens you are.
Like 200, I think, if I did the math, 200 plus % more engine. So, and I think being 12.5% Indian automatically makes me blacker than Sean King too. I'm going to go ahead and call that right now.
So it looks like it's 128.
Oh,
Elizabeth Warrens.
Are we going with like the low estimate or the high estimate of her?
Oh, I just went with 1024 because that's the mean.
Okay. Yeah, I'm quite a bit more, but the thing is, like that's by government standards, and I think I told this story once before, but the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is the federal department that handles tribal membership and tribal roles, they judged my grandfather to be half Choctaw because his father was not listed on the birth certificate.
Oh, okay.
So they automatically cut him in half. My great grandmother was full blood Choctaw.
Okay.
But family story is that it was another tribal member, so I claim 1/4 heritage.
Okay. I was thinking I'd heard a quarter from you.
Yeah.
Up to that. So it's either 128 or 256 Elizabeth Warrens, depending how you want to count it.
Well, I mean, what I think is funny is I know people in the Choctaw Nation that are registered with a tribal membership card as being 512.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like they go to an insanely small fractional percentage.
Yeah.
And which is why I was really glad that she claimed to be Cherokee and not Choctaw, because the Choctaw's probably been like, let her in. Fuck it, why not?
I reckon she just bought a new Jeep and is like, okay, that'll do. Cherokee it is.
Yeah, one thing I've learned about most people, most Native folks, is that like Cherokee folk, the one who claim to be Cherokee, are extremely proud of it and very. They're the rich people of Native Americans. Like it is, like they're very elitist, and then you'll have the lesser tribes like mine who are just like, yep,
if I'm not mistaken, that goes back to them having like the first written language. If I'm not mistaken, that was Sequoia and the Cherokees that came up with the first written language for tribal people.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And them and
Also, if I'm not mistaken, it was wasn't it the Cherokees? They fought. What was it? Were they in Florida or were they in Georgia?
it's like, oh yeah, we get it. You have a pencil.
Yeah. But I see that's the problem. Like I'm not all that well versed on other tribes. I wouldn't even claim to be an expert or a knowledgeable source on all of my tribe's different stuff, because like in school we glazed over, even in Oklahoma we kind of glazed over native history, Indian history. It was, and white people showed up, and but they really, like my sister, she took Choctaw in high school. Like they offer that as a foreign language, as an elective in a lot of the schools in the area. I took Spanish because it seemed more practical, and now neither one of us speaks anything but English.
Yeah.
I think it would be good to learn the language.
I have been working on it. I have the words of a child at this point. I know, greetings, and I can name some animals.
Which is funny. My mom knows more than I do, and she's not even a touch of Indian. Like we had the paper, like a bunch of like middle school, elementary, like worksheets, but we lost them in many of the moves that we had.
Well, that is one of the good things about like the Choctaws. Like they have online resources. They do a lot of video classes. Like that's how they taught us, in high school, or at least taught my sister in high school. Was they'd have all the students go into the classroom, and then it would just be like a video conference with the teacher at a different location.
Okay.
Which is part of the reason why people took it, is just like they could fuck around and they could get away with it. They didn't really have a person in the room cracking the whip.
Yeah, it does sound a bit like a bludge class.
But I mean, between this protest and the Tonka Andy fight, this has been a shitty week for Indians, I gotta say.
Yes. Let's see. Let me see if I can share this and it would actually. Well, I don't need to screen share it. I can just. Let's give it a shot. I'll screen share it. Fuck it.
What do we got here?
Lashute seed is the language we use. Let's see.
Cultural teaching.
No, not you.
Wadana at Sitak Shibu as Biat Eva Swatufton as Biat.
Can you hear that all right?
Pretty quiet.
I mean, I can hear it a little bit. I haven't.
Weekwad so bunchup. As Quahwad Quad Ishan. As Oshabid Quad Ishan. As Tsak Totlabug Sa. Will.
You weren't joking about the clicking.
Yeah, it's a lot of click click dirk. So
No, I remember. Was it hello, thank you, like buffalo, cat, dog. And paleface. That's all I remember from growing up, learning about Choctaw.
Yeah, I only know the one language. I did do Italian for a few years in high school, but I've forgotten all of it since then.
I mean, aside from like greetings, I don't know any Italian. I know like one line of French. I can order a cup of coffee. That's about it. At this point, my Spanish is good enough to ask where the bathroom is, order a burger and a beer, find a library. That's about it.
I can tell someone no.
Yes, thankfully, no is fairly easy to remember in Spanish.
Mm.
For a time there was a time when I wanted to learn a whole bunch of different languages, and I realized I'm too much of a slacker.
Yeah, me too.
Because I mean, yeah, sure, I could sit there and I could use some Rosetta Stone or some other program to actually learn the vocabulary and the grammar and sentence structure and all that. But then I'm going to forget it all because I'm not going to go and find people that actually speak that language and communicate with them on a regular basis.
No, me either. It's one of those things. It would be nice to have the end result of being fluent in another language without having to do the actual learning part.
Oh yeah, because I actually did try that when I was studying Spanish. I tried getting internet pen pals and all that stuff, and do Skype calls and everything, and it just broke down to the point where like we ended up talking in English,
Nah.
and you realize like, oh wow, their English is so much better than my Spanish,
Yeah.
and their English is shit. I mean, you have to sit there and turn like the camera on my laptop and pantomime sometimes. Like, oh God, what are we doing here, man? Neither one of us is ready for this level of communication.
Oh, they probably got a good laugh out of it, if nothing else.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I was taking a college course leading up to the election in 2016, and I think this would have been the fall of 2015 or the spring of 2016. Back when Trump was still, I don't think he was a nominee yet. And so I was taking the Spanish course and I was doing that, and some of these folks, they were actually very good at, with their English, whereas my Spanish was clunky at best.
Yeah.
And so like we ended up sitting there talking, and I ended up talking to this one dude in Mexico about Donald Trump. I was like, I don't think he's going to be president. I'm not voting for him, but it is kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's a weird time to be alive on this continent.
Speaking of not voting for Trump, I was in a Facebook conversation, and it was about AOC.
I did.
Well, being on Facebook, that was your first mistake.
Well, yeah. And my friend posted, he's like, I keep on hearing how she's dumb. And he's like, huh. And I go, well, it's because she is.
Have you listened to the woman speak?
And he goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, have you ever heard her go off the cuff in these, like, that video with the three branches of government, one being the presidency? It's like, Jesus Christ, come on.
I can do one better. My congressman, the 2nd District of Oklahoma, he thought there were 4 when he got to Congress.
Nice. For
the love of God, I don't know what he thought the 4th one was, but he thought there were 4 branches of the federal government.
And then, so I am, as you can probably guess, I am immediately labeled as a right-wing white supremacist.
Well, it goes without saying.
Because I said that Cortez is stupid. And I'm like, they're like, do you have any proof? I'm like, pick a time. Like you could just spin a wheel and pick one. Like it's ridiculous.
My favorite.
Yeah, like the first response to it is like this 3-paragraph reply to about Trump, and I go, "Did you hear me say that I voted for Trump? Because I don't remember that ever coming up."
Yeah, but my favorite from Cortez is got to be unemployment is down because people have 2 jobs. That's still my favorite.
Let's see.
Hey, Fugi, SMRT. Yeah, that's perfect.
I prefer DUM.
Nice. That's a Simpsons reference.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT.
I don't remember. I don't remember what
That was-
I got that line from, but it's like, you are dumb. DUM, dumb.
And that almost sounds like a Larry the Cable Guy line. Almost.
I don't know. I mean, but yeah, that's my go-to whenever somebody says something big-brained.
Or that black guy that was on Tosh.0. Hide your children, hide your wives.
Maybe that sounds more like something I would have watched and got that from.
Because they raping everyone. You are dumb. I'm dumb. I can totally see it.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and find that clip because that sounds about right. Oh man.
Like, yeah, I can hear that guy saying it, and I can hear like someone like Larry the Cable Guy saying it.
That sounds. I mean, you keep saying Larry the Cable. I keep thinking that'd be more like a Ron White kind of thing.
Well, it's someone in that
Yeah, in that vein of comedy. Yeah.
redneck comedy, I guess you'd call it. So it's all from Foxworthy, that group.
Well, what I like the most is that they make it seem like redneck and like racist, hates black people and everything like that. It's like from everything I've seen, rednecks and black people get along the best, at least around here. Because I mean, it's just lower class people, poor people who they have more in common than like the rich white people who want to save the blacks.
Well, they do need saving, and only white women can do it.
If you say so.
No.
I'm not jumping into this one. That is some Australian bait if I've ever heard it.
No. White women are the saviors of the world. Just ask them.
Oh, I mean, I would, but I've got shit to do, and I don't have enough time for that. Now I'm sitting here. I'm trying to find anything else other than this. Is there somebody to face some statues? Okay.
Now let's see, news. Type that in.
Well, let's look at the trends. Oh, Kamala Harris is trending number 3 right now.
Oh, here's one from the BBC. The bed that saved me from the Taliban.
The what?
The bed.
Was it a Tempur-Pedic? Was it a Sealy? Was it a Serta?
It just looks like a regular old mattress.
Okay.
Does the DOD know about this bed and its magical properties that can ward off terrorists?
Apparently, he cut out the thing and jumped into the hollow part of the bed and hid there until they left.
Oh, so it was a heroin smuggler's bed. Okay. That makes perfect sense now. Sang Fugi brings up there's a great picture with a black guy and a white guy wearing T-shirts that says "My nigga" and "My redneck." That would have been me and my best friend in college if we had shirts like that.
Yeah.
Like 300-pound black dude and a skinny pale Indian guy. I remember when I first got a job with my tribe. You know, he had worked for him before, so he kind of knew how it goes working for the Choctaws. And I got hired. Like the person who was responsible for the department I was going to be working in, like they wanted to go ahead and hire me. We had to wait for HR to do my paperwork and drug testing and all that stuff. I'm sitting there for like a week and a half. It felt like it was closer to a week, but yeah, I mean, 2 business weeks, pretty much 10 days, just sitting there waiting for a job I already had. And he messaged me one day. It's like, "Hey, how's the job going?" I was like, "I'm still waiting, dude." He's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, man, Indian time is slower than black people time." It's like, "Dude, that is fucked up." I was like, "Yeah, but you know it's true. I'm waiting on a fucking smoke signal over here." Just so they can tell me I can come to work. Fox News issues apology after airing graphics saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Oh, dear.
A little bit of wishful thinking. A little bit of wishful thinking, I think.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? I mean, people are getting their panties in such a twist over kids in fucking hats right now. How many heads are going to explode when this old bag kicks the bucket?
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Because at this point, I don't think she's making it to 2020, man.
Well, and
Not from what I've heard.
And everyone's already forgotten about fucking Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Like I haven't heard anything about them pursuing any allegations of gang rape or anything like that.
Funny that.
He's on the court now. Nobody cares anymore that he.
Yeah, everyone in their rights that are disappearing. Oh wait, no, they're not.
Hey, ho ho, Kavanaugh has got to go.
That chant has got to go back to the '60s where it fucking came from. I'm tired of hearing that shit.
Yeah, I know.
I mean that's my biggest problem with like protesters and all these activists. They all think they are in the middle of the 1960s. They all act like they are struggling just as hard as Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It's like no, you're not.
No.
Not even close. What was that line from Pulp Fiction? It's like not even in the same league. It's not even the same sport you're playing right now.
Yeah. I'm talking about foot massages as opposed to.
I am the foot fucking master. Got my technique down and everything. I'll be tickling and nothing. Oh, which reminds me, now that I'm sitting here saying all this random shit, I actually did get some sounds for my sound pad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. See if there's anything you guys find humorous thus far. I'm gonna have a field day with Gutenberg. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I think we finally know the reason why he is so infatuated with Terry. Did you guys hear that?
No.
No? Oh crap. Let me see here. Oh, play. Okay. How about now?
No, still nothing.
Huh. Well, one of these, I'm going to have to figure out how to get this to actually work then.
Oh, I see.
You see what?
No, I just tried to purchase the Jackbox Pack 5,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't let me wouldn't let me pay for it. And then I just got a text asking if I was trying to purchase it, so I have to call a number to actually get the payment to go through.
Oh, wow. That's inconvenient.
So I can do that later.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. You can't just buy it online. Like,
Although I probably could get it through Steam without
yeah, of course you could, but
issue.
then you have to pay the extra money.
Let's see. Oh, that's the most recent version.
Number 5. Yeah, 5 is the most.
Never mind. It is $30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, the difference between buying it through Jackbox.tv or Steam. I think I'll just stick with the.
So it worked out to be the same cost either way.
You guys didn't hear any of those, did you?
None.
Nope.
Ah. Gotta figure out why it's not. It's playing in my ears, and the last time I messed around with this, I had it to where it was going through the microphone too.
That's something I know nothing about, I'm afraid, so I won't be able to help you with that.
Well, of course it was approved. I just fucking bought tools earlier this morning. Now everyone's trying to get a hold of me over this.
Trying to get a hold of you over what?
Oh, my card being denied.
So what was I saying that proved why Goot was in love with me?
Oh, it's a clip from Minions. It's Goot. He came into one of Quiz's streams and he says, "I'm here. I'm gay. I'm open. Who is the other guy?"
Okay.
It was the one where he was repeatedly yelling at Hayes, "Show me your genitals."
Nice.
Which I've got that somewhere too, but you guys can't hear it, so there's no point in playing it.
No. Goot's hilarious.
Tonka deleted all of his videos, Fugi? Wow. I know he deleted his Twitter.
Wow, he really is kicking himself off the internet in
Yeah, he
shame.
took off his sub count.
Would Social Blade still be able to pick that up or no?
Oh, I'm sure it would.
Oh.
So I saw Vamp Candy was posting how she's gonna stick by Tonka and she's not gonna abandon him over this. That's good.
I mean, yeah, stand by your man. Whatever works.
Yeah, and people were giving a shit for it. I don't know. If they're a real life couple, then you shouldn't ditch him just because he made a fool of himself online.
I mean, even if they're not together, I mean, if
they're friends.
you want to pick a side, then by all means.
Yeah.
Oh, he got suspended off Twitter for a while. He's been there, out of there for a while now. Okay. I just noticed that the other day I was going through and like sometimes I delete people from that I'm no longer following them or whatever.
Did you guys see the thing I made for Monkey?
Yeah, I'm a pretty panda.
The little
I saw that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I've been trying to get to that, and I was wondering why it was sounding all scratchy every time I tried to edit it. Well, and as I found out, when you load, because it's a 2-hour stream that you're loading,
Yeah.
and then you're cutting it under, it's like under a half a second of time. It's literally, I think it's like 0.62 seconds. Like, it's not even a full second.
Yeah.
And you have to load. It loads the video, and then it loads the audio, and you have to wait for the entire audio to load before you edit.
Ah.
Well, I figured out why it's not working for my sound pad.
Oh, good.
It wasn't hooked up to my microphone. It was on the default setting. And if
Right.
I want to play around with it, I've got to restart my computer first. So
Oof.
no sound pad this stream. Maybe next time, fellas.
No worries.
But I went ahead and I got one for P Dog too. That little Thug Life sound clip that everyone plays. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to use some other kind of recording software, and I'm going to splice it together where instead of it saying Snoop Dogg, it's me out P Dog. But baby steps.
I wonder if there's a voice synthesizer like where you talk in. Have you guys heard of what's his name? Agnostic Plague Doctor.
The name sounds familiar, but I can't.
Well, he does. I think when he does his recording, he records it and then just slows down the or brings it. It's some sort of filter, and it makes him sound like this.
Well, I mean, I know voice modulators shouldn't be too terribly hard to get these days. I used to have an app on my phone years ago. I think this was back in like 2010 or 11, where you could spoof phone numbers and you could change your voice to like male or female, different from your natural sounding voice. I had some fun with that. It's hilarious. I called my mother and I switched it to a female voice. I called her from her husband's phone, his cell phone number.
Yeah.
While he was sitting next to her.
Oh God.
So she's looking down at her phone and it's her husband's phone number popping up. She answers it like, "Hello," and she just hears this woman talking. And the whole time it's just me sitting in the next room, just fucking with him.
Yeah.
See if I can find it. What's up, boy?
Let's see. Let me see if I can pull that up. That was something I thought was kind of interesting that I ended up forgetting about. A few days ago, or was it? I think it was after the Trump speech where Pelosi and Schumer gave their rebuttal right afterwards. Splinter had an article they sent out, supposedly from a couple of anonymous federal government employees urging people who work for the federal government to strike. And like in the first couple of paragraphs, they mention how like if even 10% of the federal workforce were to just stop showing up for work, it could it could slow down like the national economy and possibly the world economy. And it's like, okay, so you're advocating that not only we fuck over our economy, but the whole world, because you guys won't build a fence. It seems reasonable.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, if I try and go through their Twitter feed, that's going to take forever to find that. That was what, a week and a half ago. That'll be forever.
Yeah.
See if I can just go to the website. It wasn't until I got on YouTube that I decided to put Splinter in a favorites folder. I'm blaming the skeptic community for this.
Yeah. I mean,
for introducing me to Splinter.
I found Splinter through Scribe. That was the first I'd ever heard of them when Fusion turned into Splinter.
Oh, there it is, right there. It's on the front page. We work for the federal government, and it's time to strike. By Anonymous. Oh, this is only from Saturday. Okay. The following is an open letter from 2 employees of the federal government. Due to a fear of losing their jobs, they have, and I don't want your newsletter. They have chosen to remain anonymous. This shutdown is a poison to the nation, and labor action is the antidote. To our fellow Americans and federal employees, we are into the 4th week of this absurd government shutdown, which has left 800,000 federal workers without pay around the United States. In 1 more week, workers will miss another paycheck, bringing catastrophe for many of them and their families. This farce has continued long enough. The indignities to both the federal workforce and the American public should never have been allowed to go this far. It is time for federal workers to organize and strike the government. This shutdown has directly impacted the Department of Agriculture, the EPA, the FDA, the FAA, HUD, the Department of Homeland Security, including FEMA and the TSA, the Department of the Interior, the State Department, the Treasury, the Commerce Department, and the General Services Administration. Due to the broad range of furloughed employees, the nation is not prepared for a catastrophe to occur, be it man-made or natural. We are but a major storm, earthquake, disease outbreak, and or terrorist attack away from calamity. The administration, its political appointees, and their allies in Congress know this, which brings us to a greater indignity these monstrous men and women wish to bring upon federal government. Each department and agency was required to prepare a shutdown contingency plan, which includes the designation of essential workers, meaning people who are required to continue working without pay. These are the TSA officers staffing the lines at airports, the FAA air traffic controllers directing planes, the small group of FDA inspectors checking on high-risk produce and food, the IRS employees keeping the wheels on the American economy, and many others. I kind of take issue with that last line there. The IRS employees are keeping the wheels on the American economy.
Yeah.
The tax man is what's keeping this train rolling? Really? I mean, Domino's is fucking paving the roads these days. I'd take the risk of a business running shit at this point.
Yeah.
It must have been further down than I thought, man, because I'm still trying to get to where they get to the Oh, that's talking about how they designate essential from non-essential federal employees.
I think I heard on Lords of the Night that it's actually against the law for government workers to go on strike. Like they sign an agreement saying that they forfeit the right to do that if they want to work for the government.
Aren't most of them unionized?
A lot are. I know. I think like the air traffic controllers, they are unionized. If I'm not mistaken, they tried to strike in the '80s under Reagan, and he just turned around and said, "Guess what? You're all fired.
Yeah.
You know, either show up at work or you're all fired." So, and I mean, let's face it, that is Trump's catchphrase. Go ahead, try it, see what happens.
Well, that's basically what Monkey was saying from memory. Is like, if they do try and go on strike, just fire them all and hire scabs.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in the Los Angeles Public School District right now, or not school district, but Los Angeles Public Schools. The teachers are striking, and so they're just bringing in substitutes.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. It is closer to the bottom. The administration knows that even if only 10% of essential and exempt federal employees walk off the job, the workings of the American economy will slow to a grind, creating a cascading effect of delays, closings, and cost overruns that will quickly overwhelm political executives and appointees. The work that we do as federal workers, especially those of us deemed essential, touches many aspects of the American and global economy. A noticeable slowdown, if not an outright stop of commerce, transit, logistics, and production will bring this outrage against our nation to an end. This is what Bill Maher was talking about. He said he wanted a recession to get rid of Trump. That was the only thing that he could see, getting him out of office. If it's not for like the Russian collusion and whatnot.
I remember that.
The only thing would be for the economy to tank. That's his one selling point. This is exactly that. They're willing to burn the whole house down to get rid of a rat.
That is a little extreme.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think even Bering would do that with a spider in his house.
I don't know. He's a bit of a pussy when it comes to spiders.
Yeah, but I mean, he'd probably just have Sugar Tits deal with it. I mean, he wouldn't try and burn the place to the ground.
But what if Sugar Tits wasn't home?
Sounds like Bering would go camping.
He would just leave the house outright, and then I'm not going back to how things dead.
He'd be doing a little staycation at a local hotel, I imagine.
It is funny. Like, you don't expect Bering to be such a wuss when it comes to spiders. It's like he gives off a more sort of confident, assertive vibe. You'd expect him to be like, fucking spiders.
The man can single-handedly send Christy Winters into a fucking overload.
Yeah.
Yet can't handle a spider.
Exactly.
Hey, I am not going to trash the man over that. While arachnophobia, is not my problem. I don't have that affliction. I can sympathize. I hate snakes.
I hate snakes, spiders, and bees.
Well, like for me, it's like snakes because it's just fucking unnatural to get around with no legs. I mean, it's hard to tell which of them can kill you and which can't. You always run that risk. And which Oklahoma, we got like a few poisonous snakes, but also like it extends even to like lizards because to me those are just snakes with legs. Like I don't know what reptiles. Fuck them. No.
Well, that's like that one. I think it's a coral snake. It's red, black, and white. And then there's another snake, which
the king snake,
exactly like it, and that's red, white, and black.
Yeah, I think it's the king snake and the coral snake.
Yeah, it's like
the coral snake's venomous. The king snake is not.
As far as I'm concerned, they can both die.
Yeah. Like my two biggest fears are snakes and planes.
So and I know what you never watched.
No, actually, I did watch it because my girlfriend was a fucking sadist. It's like, hey, let's go to the movies. Okay, we get the movie theater. So what are we gonna watch? And she can get up to the ticket counter. Oh, fuck you. So
my mother is terrified of any reptile. So when we were living in a place that had a big backyard, I was on lizard duty. So if I heard mum scream, that meant I had to go find the lizard, take it up to the national, like the local reserve, and just set it free, and then wait for it to come back and annoy mum again.
What made me afraid of snakes up my hometown, my friend, he's a rancher, like has horses and all that shit.
Okay.
He was he invited us over, and he had this nice big pond in his front yard. I'm like, hey, let's go swimming in that.
I see where this is going.
And I just did a full sprint and then just dove in. And in the middle of that jump, it was a cannonball. He goes, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And I look at him, and I look down, and there's just this ball of that I just landed on.
Ooh.
And as soon as I hit the water, I like jumped and I just Jesus walked out of that pond. Like I was out of there.
Oh man, that'll do it. I mean,
Out of there so fast you didn't even get wet, huh?
He's like, I tried to warn you. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. You do that before I run.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything I'm phobic about. Like, I can't think of anything anyway. But
I can think of at least one thing.
well, I mean, the emu thing is an exception, but not counting my faux fear of emus. Like, I don't think there's anything that I'm phobic about. Like, if I saw a snake or a spider in my house, that would be, well, if I saw a snake in my house, like, that'd freak me out because there should not be any snakes in my house. But if I just saw one, like, at the zoo or something, like, who cares? Spiders I don't care about. I just squish them.
Yeah, the same girlfriend who gave me shit about my fear of snakes, she was similarly afflicted as Bearing. She hated spiders.
Fair enough.
To the point where she called me in the middle of the night one time to drive across town to come to her house to kill a spider on her front porch so she could go inside.
Oh, dear God.
It's like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, use the back door.
Yeah.
My mom was the
He's
same.
on the front porch. You go to the back porch. That's how this works. I'm not driving over there.
Oh, I think we should call it.
Alrighty.
Sounds good, man. I'm gonna grab me a bite to eat. I'm gonna go take a nap before work tonight.
We're 2 hours in.
Yeah, it's a good round number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah.
Well, hold on, real fast before we do check out of here. Fugi, you still here? What drama did you have to check on? Some more Tonka stuff? Do we have an update? Give it a second for the lag.
Yeah.
See what drama is a brewing. Because while I was never a big like internet blood sports guy, I like drama. I just
yeah,
certain types,
I don't think the manufactured drama is all that interesting. Tonka has a live stream up, but not live yet, is what Fugi came back with.
Wow. Huh. I wonder. That does kind of have my curiosity piqued. I might.
He's probably going to say another adjective another 75 times.
Miserable.
Oh wow! Over 500 dislikes and about 440 watching. That is rough.
That is what I would expect, though, considering the nature of the blood sports crowd. He's
Now,
not going to live this down.
now I have a question. With because Jack was talking up. He's like, yeah, the winner of the Worski and Tonka thing is
Mundane Matt.
And no, they're both in the same shit pile.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say anything about it because I wasn't anywhere affected by it. But I couldn't trust him as far as I can throw him.
He wiped his channel, and chat is just savage.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, when you market yourself as internet blood sports, when the chat smells blood in the water,
it doesn't matter whose.
Yeah, I mean, a frenzy is going to start regardless of who spilled it.
Now your boy Pat just joined us. And we're on our way out.
Hey, Pat. We were just getting an update from Fugi about the Tonka drama. Apparently, he's going to go live here sometime soon. So that's something to look forward to if you're so inclined.
And yeah, Pat had a back and forth with Sophane.
Oh, I missed that. See, I've been cutting down on my who I'm following on Twitter to try and be able to catch more of this stuff because, like, I'll miss a bunch of people that I follow from chat and whatnot. I'll miss their stuff.
I don't want to call it drama per se because they're both keeping it pretty civil. As far as I read, unless it's devolved. All right, yeah, let's
hear this.
I just hope that Sophane tried to call your boy Pat a white supremacist. I just really want that to happen.
I don't think Sophane's that dumb.
Oh, we never know.
I always want to give Fane the benefit of the doubt. I always want to tell myself, like, you're just misreading whatever he's saying.
I kind of gave up on Sophane. He's funny, like his videos are good, but I don't know. His Twitter is annoying.
I always feel like that's Twitter. I always feel like if me and Fane were sitting in a bar, even disagreeing about shit, we'd still be able to get along well enough.
Yeah, he seems like a decent guy. It's just that on Twitter, he's
I think it's that whole having that between you.
Yeah,
having the Twitters between you that does a lot of that. Like I've been cutting down the number of people I've been following just so that way I could try and actually see stuff like that. Where I'm following Fane and Pat. I don't know why I didn't see it.
Sophane is one of the first I invited to do live streams, and he's like, "Yeah, I would, but my schedule is insane, so I can't." And then, your boy Pat, Irate Prostate, Jack Cochran, and P-Dog Knight were able to join me for the first official live stream.
cool.
And see, oh my God, Fugi, 1,300, you slut.
I follow 1,351, so I'm just as bad.
See, I think I got around 500 before I started paring it back a bit. Because I want to go ahead and keep the different news agencies and stuff I'm following, and then YouTubers and people from chat, and then I've got some folks that I hate follow.
Yeah.
The medical student, I've been following her for almost a year now, and she doesn't disappoint me.
Okay, cool.
I think the one I retweeted the other day, the one whose future cats I pity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she and I got into an argument, I think, originally about, was it Chris Reagan? Apparently,
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Pat, how's it going?
Hey Pat.
Hey,
So, you and Fane, huh? What's this beef about?
Oh God. Well, like I said, this morning, I had tweeted out. I don't know if this morning or whatever, but I had thrown out a tweet talking about like back in the day in the 1900s and stuff like that. How black people were like either how they were like either killed, they were arrested, they were harmed, or they just basically had their life in disarray and stuff like that. Because they were accused of something they didn't do. You know how those days were back in the day are right now. Now
yeah,
you sit up here, I'm saying, and you look at I'm saying, I'm saying that the times that we are today and things like that. And I said what it basically is like now it's like it seems like, in 2019, it seems like now it's like we see like the roles kind of like switching. Like how, not now it's like, like you see a lot of white people getting arrested, a lot of white people getting harmed. They're getting everything itself being killed that we know of so far. And I put it right there, like I said, it's still the same game. It's just to switch the roles. Now, however, Sofan, like he took a disagreement to it and all that right there, and basically, then he retweeted my tweet, basically saying that I'm saying that both of the things were different, and I'm just like, like how are they different right here? Like I'm saying, basically, I'm saying like so, I compare like Emmett Till compared to like the MAGA kid. I keep forgetting his name because like he's been doxxed and all that right there. All right. So I said with Emmett Till's side right here, like, all right, Emmett Till, like I said, he was murdered, for because the lady I'm saying that accused him of rape and shit like that, even though he didn't do it,
hmm.
you know. All right, so he didn't do that right there, but he was accused of it. So therefore, like I said, he was tortured and he was murdered. All I'm saying, all because of a lie.
Yeah,
A lie. I'm saying a lie there. I'm saying, of something that he did not do. So here it is with this MAGA kid over the weekend right here, and we see how that all went down right there. Like mainstream media once again took something out of context, and presented it like it was the truth. And you see everything that's been happening, stuff like that.
hmm.
Oh, this MAGA kid is racist. Oh, he's smarking all this right here. I just want to punch him in the face. And oh, we need names. People dox him and all that right there. And ever since this happened, like I said, the kid's been doxxed. He's been receiving death threats, him and his family and all that right there. His name has been dragged just throughout the whole entire mud. And I mean, it took the internet, a whole bunch of internet sleuthing to like to finally get the truth out there that everything that's been showed by the mainstream media was a bold-faced lie.
Yeah,
But ever since that happened though, like I said, ever since the truth came out and stuff like that, it still ain't changed the fact that I'm saying this kid was doxxed. He's getting death threats and stuff like that. He's facing, I'm saying, I think what expulsion from like his school or whatever. It's like, yeah, he's just been completely just dragged through hell and back these past couple of days, all for just standing there while a Native American man who came up to them. They didn't do nothing. All this stuff that our mainstream media is claiming that they doing, they didn't do nothing but just stood there and stood their ground. This dude came up there messing with them, and him and black Israelites and stuff like that started making hateful things towards them. They just stood their ground. They wasn't being violent or nothing like that. The boy just stood there. But
yeah,
I'm saying, but according to all these, I'm saying, people on social media and stuff like that who are now deleting their shit right here and that and everything, like this, all because of that lie. This boy's life is just being in complete jeopardy right now. Well, he's been everything except, like I said, he's been threatened to be killed and stuff like that, but he hasn't been killed. And I pray to God that don't happen. But I'm saying, my whole point was a tweet was, like I said, it seems like ever since then, man, this stuff has been like basically like reversing the roles like on white people. Now it's like I'm saying, it's like white people are sitting right here just getting harmed, getting this and that and everything simply because they white now. Like I'm saying, like, oh, if you white and you do anything towards a non-person that they deem not positive and shit like that, you're automatically a racist.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying right there. It's like I'm saying I see a lot of white people now getting persecuted and all that shit right there simply for being white, just like how it was like that back then. That was the whole purpose of my tweet. But of course, since I used Emmett Till and compared them and that right there and everything, and since Emmett Till was murdered and all that shit right there, everybody's saying, well, those two don't match. I'm like, how did they not match and stuff like that? You know, both of these people's lives were turned around simply because of a lie created by others and all that right there. But of course, you know, So Fang, he doing his thing and stuff like that, you know, basically because, you know, like I said, you know, because it's his side that's, you know, that's being judged and all this right here, that and everything, because they're the ones that I'm saying, you know, the extreme version of it, not all liberals and shit like that. You know, but the extreme version of it are the ones that I'm saying that pull this nonsense and is spreading this lie, and now it's causing this boy's life to be upside down and shit like that. But somehow Sofan is doing his best to protect their side and shit like that, because you know he's liberal, so it's like, you know, he can't stand to see his side, you know, in such a disarray. And that's not the thing that I'm trying to point out right there. I'm just saying that, you know, hell shit. I just been noticing as a black person myself that, you know, the roles have been kind of reversed, and how they keep on saying, like, you know, like white people are doing all this stuff to black people and shit like that. But yet I'm like, it's happening on both sides and shit like that and everything. But I've been seeing it more acceptable. I'm saying, you know, of black people doing it towards white people now, like how it was back in the day and shit.
That's like whenever I bring up the Chicago Four, like, they automatically just like, well, that's not the same thing. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like,
Like
bullshit
Chicago
if it isn't.
4. Wait, is the Facebook kidnapping one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone was calling that BLM kidnapping. And I'm like, until there's something there, I'm just gonna call them the Chicago Four.
And that's why they keep on saying like the two things are different right there, because, you know, Emmett Till was killed while this kid hasn't been. And I say, like, I hope that doesn't go that way. But you know how some extremists are. If they could get away with it, they try.
Oh yeah.
But that's the whole purpose of the whole tweet right there. I think he just didn't like the fact that I compared it to like Emmett Till and stuff like that. But, you know, and I think it was only one person who only really got what I was talking about right there. It's like, you know, people being like you know, like persecuted and shit like that simply because of their skin color. That's what's happening in both of these events right here and everything. Not just, I'm saying, you know, the skin color and stuff like that, but for what the MAGA kid is just because he supports Trump and he had on a MAGA hat and all that right there, you know.
I really wonder what would have happened if they didn't have any cameras there.
Oh my God.
Like,
that's why I said thank God for the internet. If it wasn't for the internet, man, shit, CNN and all these news media and stuff like that, their stuff would fly.
You know, I find it interesting. They talk about the MAGA hats being like the new Klan hood.
Yeah, I've been seeing that shit by.
Where in history exactly did, you know, you have Klan members walking around in their hoods where people were just, you know, ripping them off their heads and punching them in the face?
Yeah, I said no.
I mean, how many Klan members were getting accosted in a Whataburger at, you know, 2
Yeah,
o'clock in the morning?
That's just people virtue signaling for the brownie points, just so they can get their ass kissed by people like, oh, you're so woke and you're so wonderful and you see everything. Like, hell, that's just them basically saying that stuff because they know you gullible and you're gonna kiss their ass for saying it.
Yeah, and what gets me is like it seems to be the biggest thing is, you know, online. Like, I talk to people in my day-to-day life, you know, black, white, Hispanic, and they look at this shit, they're like, really? Like, that people actually believe that? Because I used the Emmett Till reference during the Kavanaugh hearings. You know, I had this dude come in to my store, and, you know, older black dude, and I laid out for him what was going on with the Kavanaugh hearings. And I mentioned how, like, all this was based off of like one person's say so. And I was like, man, if a Supreme Court nominee can be, you know, shredded with just one person say so, like, that's how we get Emmett Till, isn't it? He's like, exactly.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I said, like I still like Sofane, man. I still think he cool like the other side of the pillar, but it's like sometimes, we get into these disagreements, especially when it comes to politics and shit like that, where one person's on one side and the other person's on the other. And that's how it basically come right there. But it's like I still think he cool as fuck, but it's like this right here just didn't sit well with me, and it didn't sit well with him.
Yeah, I mean, Sofane seems like a nice guy, and just sort of, I do get a bit fed up with his Twitter feed, though. Like I was saying before, he's like, he's gotten a bit too partisan on Twitter. Like, I think in real life, he's probably just as cool as he's always been. It's just that on Twitter, he's been getting more and more overtly left and sort of tribal, is what
Yeah,
I've seen.
especially like when it comes to the politics and shit like that, like like must defend tribe.
Yes, exactly.
What do you think the odds are that's just like a negative feedback loop?
Mm.
You know,
That's what it is.
that's why like I don't try to get into a bunch of arguments on Twitter. Mostly, I try to just make jokes about whatever I see going on this dumpster fire of a platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I do, it's something that I know I am bulletproof on. If I'm going to get into an argument with only 280 characters to back up my claims, I know I'm going. If I'm going to invest the time, I know I'm going in there because I'm right.
Yeah.
Like with the Elizabeth Warren argument that I have that one guy, or the medical student and I arguing back and forth about James Damore, or trans reproduction, and how, holy shit, you're a medical student, you should know better.
Yeah.
I know it.
Because
apparently,
apparently I thought that because I considered reproduction as a factor for choosing a mate.
How dare you?
Yes, I know, how bigoted of me, how narrow-minded.
Mm.
But because I said that could be a factor in why somebody wouldn't want to, get into a relationship with a trans person. I just wanted, women to be, incubators, and they weren't worth anything if they couldn't have a baby. And I was
Which
like,
is exactly what you said, naturally.
of course, she quoted me verbatim. But but yeah, she tried to send me like some article about like a womb, a synthetic womb for trans people to be able to carry a child. I was like, well, great. Does that come with eggs with the trans person's, mitochondrial DNA that I can, fertilize with my sperm? No. Well, guess what? I'm not interested. Now, get back to your medical studies there, Dr. Frankenstein.
I'm saying, Miguel, who is that person? Because I want to make sure that person never comes nowhere near me medically.
Well, I'm actually following her. I think her Twitter handle, unless she's changed it, is let me find it, because it's some ridiculously long bullshit. Triggered special snowflake SJW medical student.
Oh God, one of those.
Yep.
They gotta hit every.
That's what they put out there as their, it's actually the person's name, for their at.
Mm-hmm.
But
they had to hit every special snowflake trope there is.
That's when I realized Monkey was actually paying attention to my tweets, because I screen capped one of her tweets about Michael Moore back in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monkey, before it was Monkey in the Morning, I think it was Late Night with Monkey or something like that, he was calling it. He actually brought her up, and I was like, holy shit. Like, there's no way Monkey found her on his own.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like on Twitter, it's like, I'm always, like giving off my opinions and stuff like that. I know my opinions aren't always going to agree with people that we follow and all that right there. And I'm cool with that. And it's like, but just think, just like how you, give me your opinions and stuff like that, I will fire back on you. But if I feel like you're writing things like that, I'll admit that. But it's like, I'm like, no, but I will motherfucking challenge motherfuckers and shit.
Well, like my biggest problem with the Twitter arguments has been that every time I end up getting in one, I realize fairly quickly the other person's not arguing in good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the medical student chick, she and I got to arguing about James Damore and the memo, as it's been come to known. And I kept asking her, I was like, well, did you actually read it? It's a 10-page Google Doc. It's not like it's War and Peace. And she didn't even get past like page 2, I don't think. I was like, well, I mean, you're sitting here calling this dude all these different names and stuff, and you haven't even read 80% of what he wrote, where he actually agrees with you.
So she has basically read something she didn't like, and she was like, "Nope, mm-mm."
Yeah, she did the teal deer version, and she decided, nah, yeah, he's dumb. But actually, Pat, now that we've got you here, before we all get out of here, I was wondering if maybe you could help me out with something, and Johnny, he'll get this. Pat, how do you prefer to tie your do-rag?
How do I what?
How do you prefer to tie your do-rag?
Well, I don't wear a do-rag, but when I do, it's just basically like I said, I just put it on. Like I said, I tie it in the back.
Well, no. The reason why I asked is because the other day I got blocked. I got my first like legitimate block on Twitter, where it wasn't just tweeting at somebody and getting like the bot banning me. This guy who's got like 1,300 followers promoted a tweet where it's just a selfie of him in some room of some house somewhere, and he's got his do-rag on, and he's got his chain, and he's throwing up a hand sign, and all he asks is, how do you prefer to tie your do-rag? I was like, this is a promoted tweet? What the fuck, man? And so I tweeted at him. I replied to him. And apparently he didn't appreciate my input on the do-rag question. I asked him, I was like, where did it go? This wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, I've been looking for it too.
I just my reply was just the meme of Foghorn Leghorn. It says, what in the fuck is this shit? And he took me seriously at first. He's like, he called me goofy. He's like, that's a do-rag. That's what it is. I was like, nah, I know what a do-rag is. What I don't know is why this is a promoted tweet. Why are you spending money putting your mug on my timeline instead of fixing your ceiling? Because like in the back of the picture, you see exposed insulation in this dude's like ceiling.
Oh, it's like how women be trying to take them sexy selfies and shit like that, but in the background you see like clothes and all.
Yeah, you see all their dirty laundry and their little toddler in his diaper.
Yeah, but they trying to take a sexy ass selfie and shit.
Well, see, here's what I thought was hilarious though. It's like this dude's tweet had been up for 13 hours, which, by the way, Twitter, fix your goddamn timelines, man. Put that in sequential order, chronological.
Agreed.
Do that, and I'll stop asking for an edit button. Deal? But yeah, this thing had been up for like 13 hours by the time I scrolled through and saw it, and he had 1 like.
Wow.
No retweets, no replies.
Fuck.
In less than an hour, I had twice as many likes on my original reply.
Oh, so that's what.
And so I asked him, like, why are you spending money promoting tweets instead of fixing your ceiling? And
then you call them a hoe.
Oh no, he called me a hoe. He called me a hoe. I didn't call him a hoe.
That's right, because he called you a hoe ass.
But he said I was white, which good guess. I mean, more of a taupe, if anything. I haven't been out in the sun in a while, but
I prefer beige.
Fair enough. But yeah, he accused me of being white. Which I mean, I'm drawing this from memory now because I didn't screen cap it, and he deleted all this shit. He deleted his promoted tweet because I was roasting for it. So I mean, he wasted money in the first place, but he really wasted it by deleting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he blocked me after that first exchange, and then he came back to unblock me to start talking shit again. And I was like, this is just round 2, buddy. This is my day off. I'm just getting warmed up.
So like he didn't have nobody else to talk to, so it's like you don't want that was paying him attention.
But he said, nah, man, I know how to budget, and like I'm in good hands, like all this, and just mouthing. I was like, well, when you say you're in good hands, does that mean your sugar daddy works for State Farm? Is it Jake?
It's all State.
Okay. Excuse me for getting my insurance wrong, but he didn't catch it either. He didn't catch it either, so neither one of us has insurance. That's that's the takeaway here. But yeah, I was like, is it Jake? Is it Jake from State Farm? It's like, and then he called me a hoe ass bitch hoe. He used hoe a couple times. And like
of arguing.
I think I think it kind of threw every kind of cliche name in there. Like there was hoe ass white bitch hoe or something like that.
Yeah, it was a Mad Libs of racial insults.
Let's try and squeeze Chris Tucker's voice into this.
But the best part was like after he unblocked me, he DM'd me, and like I took a screen cap of that because I mean, go ahead and block me. I still got the DMs. And the best part is that the first tweet he was making fun of me for being white, and in the DMs he called me a piece of shit, which he like left out like 2 letters of peace, just PCE of shit.
That's just lazy.
Yeah. And so like I went ahead and accepted the request. I just said, "Stay mad, homie." And this is where like it took a turn. His last reply before he blocked me again was just CDFU, and then he calls me the N-word with the hard R.
Jesus.
And get mad or get blocked. You mad because you black.
Though he just white earlier.
You mad because you black? What the?
Apparently, all I had to do to go from white to black was say homie.
Oh, God.
He forgot who he was arguing with.
Man, this is what these people fail to understand. They already know. The moment they start showing feelings, the moment they start showing these crazy ass emotions, they fail to realize, okay, I'm finna get your ass now. I'm finna troll the shit out of you and piss you off even worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was hilarious just getting the block, and then he came back. I didn't realize he unblocked me until he DM'd me. Mm-hmm. I thought that was it. I thought that was fairly cut and dry. Pretty quick decision.
Like, oh, you missed me.
Yeah, but as soon as I saw that I had a DM and I saw who it was from, I was like, oh, I own your ass now. I was like, this is gonna be fun. It's like, yeah, that's my first legitimate block by my standards. So I had fun with it. But yeah, I just want to know. It's like how would you tie your do-rag, I guess? now the question is stuck with me. I don't even remember that dude's name.
Yeah, all I learned was that there are multiple ways to tie do-rags, and I learned how to spell do-rag.
Is it one?
What up?
Is it 1 O or 2 in do-rag?
He was spelling it with a U.
Yeah, they spell it with a U.
There you go. I was thinking do as in the word do. So I
Well, I think you're getting your things mixed up. Like that's kind of a rag you use to pick up poop.
Yeah, that do.
But yeah, I was
Or the Mountain Dew.
There you
I
go.
was kind of hoping I could get the medical student to go ahead and block me too, with that little retweet of hers that I posted. Because she's got to know that that's the only logical conclusion of this scenario for her.
Well, most times you notice that they won't block you is because they get that attention.
Yeah, which
if they're not used to that shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, because when she and I first interacted, she didn't understand why I was willing to keep going back and forth with her. It's like, no, I don't think you understand. This is fun for me. You know, I mean, I'm a man of simple tastes. I don't have very many wants in life. I take care of my basic needs. They're all met. All I need to entertain myself is an internet connection and idiots like you. So, but yeah, one of these days, her and that centrist fella that I argue with from time to time. One of these days, I'll either get them on a live stream or I'll get them to block me.
Yeah, I tend not to get into Twitter fights. I'm not emotionally invested enough.
I know. I try not to, but when I do, man, trust me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna hold my own. Like it's gonna be a knockdown, drag out fight to a certain point where I'm just like, you know what, man, fuck it.
If I'm going, I'm going all out.
Then I'm just gonna like, you know what, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna save my sanity and shit like that because this shit ain't going nowhere. Especially when it starts being repetitive. I'm like, all right, this is just going round and round. You want to keep this shit going because you want the last word, so I'm gonna let you have it.
Well, I think my centrist friend he's caught on that I just enjoy poking at him. Because like the last couple times that I've tried to interact with him, he has not responded.
Oh well, it's always a shame when they catch on.
Well, that's like my friend who I've told you about several times.
The debate coach.
Yeah, I love to be his contrarian.
I want to meet this man.
Like just to, it gets him on edge and it pisses him off, and I'm just like, and I'm just going to duck out now.
I'm just going to go ahead and light the fuse and walk away. But yeah, what brought my attention to that guy was Elizabeth Warren. Like when the DNA test came out. Very, very rarely does my ears perk up nearly as fast as when a woman tries to tell you that, oh yes, I have Native heritage. I live in Oklahoma. I hear that shit all the time. If you don't got a card, it don't count.
Yeah.
And
I message saying like, man, yeah, man, you already know that shit's no hard feelings, man. It's like every once in a while, like you say, friends get into disagreement and shit like that. We still cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy tried to he pulled a line from that Boston Globe article after her DNA test came out saying that she had 12 times the native ancestry or 12 times the native DNA of a person in Great Britain and 10 times the DNA, the native DNA of the average Utah Caucasian. I was like, okay, so she's 10 times more Indian than white people. How is that a selling point? But yeah, that me and that dude, Elizabeth Warren and immigration, those are the two things we've argued about thus far. And I feel confident saying, I mean, I won both.
Are you going to use Tonka scoring where you win no matter what?
No, because I didn't have to call this guy a hoe to defeat his argument.
Okay.
I actually, for the most part, used logic and facts. Like apparently in the immigration debate, he didn't realize that MS-13 started in America. And he was trying to use MS-13 as a justification for the migrant caravans coming up from Honduras. It's like, well, first of all, If these people are so worried about gang violence and drug cartels, maybe they should go to South America.
Yeah, to me, it's like when it comes to the Honduras migrants and shit like that, man. My first thing is because like it's like economic migrants and shit like that. They're coming because like either they've been promised like free shit and stuff like that, or they heard they can get it, and that's the reason why they're making their way up here. Because like some of that family that's already in America, like yeah, we came here and all this right here, we're getting this and we're getting that. Come on.
But yeah, he was trying to say that the reason why they couldn't accept asylum in Mexico was because they're right on the border with Nicaragua. Or I can't remember which country he tried to say they had a border with, but it's like, yeah, well, they wouldn't be safe in Mexico because MS-13 they have ties in Mexico. It's like, yeah, well, guess where it started? Los Angeles. Guess where there's over 10,000 members? America. Guess where there's 0? South America. And it was the best part was like he shut up after somebody else who I guess one of his followers, wasn't one of mine. They hopped in and they like posted a link to a article out of Baltimore about MS-13. Is like, yeah, it's actually pretty bad here.
Oh man, you think I was lit, man? Should have seen Shady Green.
Oh yeah, I actually did finally find that thread between you and Payne.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, like I said, things can get heated on Twitter and shit like that, but it's like, yeah, shit, I still like his ass, man.
Oh my god. Now, see, every now and then I scroll through Twitter and I end up on a Now This article or video.
Oh, what they done did.
This video. This is some crazy bitch swimming with a great white shark, like just out in a wetsuit, no cape. There's like 4 people swimming next to this giant ass shark, and for the life of me, I can't understand why.
Well, at least that wasn't that time of the month.
Well, I mean,
it'd be a whole different story.
Like, I don't even go in the deep end of the pool, man. I seen Jaws. I ain't about that. No.
Oh shit!
But that's one of the few times.
What about the Meg?
I haven't seen that yet. I'll get around to it eventually.
I heard it was good.
Just think of it as Jaws on steroids.
I think the last Nature Eats You movie I watched legitimately start to finish was that Piranha 3D, and that's only because they had porn stars in it.
That's a good reason to watch.
Yeah, usually when that happens, it's gonna be cheesy, like fucking zombie strippers and shit.
And Zombievers.
I got to watch Gianna Michaels get her legs eaten off.
I think Misa was tweeting about this, something like zombie versus werewolves or some shit like that.
Oh well, I mean, what was that one movie? Was it Dead Snow or something, where it's like Nazi zombies?
Oh yeah,
was that it?
I don't know if that's what Misa was tweeting about, because again, like I said, I've been trying to purge some of these accounts that I was following that just lost interest in, so I could actually see stuff like that.
Let's see. It's Overlord, which is the new one.
Oh shit.
Dead Snow. It is Dead Snow.
Why is the Washington Post tweeting about Cardi B and Tommy Lauren?
Oh, that shit right there, man. Basically, well, because when somebody black goes up against Tommy Lauren, who's who's very right leaning and shit like that, they gotta support that person right there. And the wild part is, I think how all that shit got started is because you know how Cardi B is. She was asked what she think about the shutdown and shit like that, and being a black hip hop star and all that right there, you gotta answer. You Your answer has to be very left leaning. Otherwise, you're going to be labeled a coon and a race traitor. So Cardi B basically did that. She answered very right leaning. I mean, not very right, but very left leaning. And Tommy Lauren took to Twitter and said, "Oh, look, I am, what she call herself? I am Cardi something, some bullshit."
Yeah.
But she said, yeah, like Cardi B is, I'm saying, is yet the latest like the latest Hollywood something to endorse the Democrats and all this shit right there, and then talking about hashtag build a wall. And Cardi B told her leave me alone, or I'll dog walk you. Basically saying she gonna whoop her ass. And so Tommy Lawrence said okay, yeah, you might whoop my ass, but it still doesn't change the fact that I'm saying your tweet was moronic. And then, she started calling Tommy Lauren racist and shit like that. So basically, like I said, Cardi B, she put her opinion out there and shit like that just to save her career because, if you're black and you don't lean left, hell, bye bye career. So that's what I'm saying, So like I said, she threatened Tommy Lauren with physical violence. She played the race card on her and shit like that, and everybody has just been fucking cheering her like she just owned Tommy Lauren and all that right there. I'm like, no, if anything, she played right into Tommy's hand. I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. That's the last thing you don't do. I'm saying, when somebody like Tommy Lauren comes at you and shit like that, you gotta hit her where it hurts the most, her goddamn ego. That means you gotta challenge her motherfucking ass. But Cardi B is not one of those, one of those intellectual motherfuckers and shit like that. So that's what she got right there. She just went all street on her.
Well, I mean, that definitely answers my question as to why the Washington Post is tweeting about him. But my question, I mean, it's kind of still like, why though? Like the only thing I know about Cardi B at all was that ass shaking video that was on Twitter a few days ago. Like I didn't even turn the sound on. I don't know what she sounds like. I don't want to know what she sounds like. I just saw asses shaking. That was enough for me.
That's all it is. She can twerk, and I think CJ Pearson basically he said something about that too, and people started getting on his ass about that.
But like Tommy learned. Does she have a job? I mean, like who's she working for now? Didn't what's his name fire her?
Is she not working for Fox anymore?
Oh, she works for Fox now. I don't know, dude. I don't watch.
I think still doing stuff for Fox News and things like that. Wow.
I get all of this stuff secondhand. I don't. I mean, I have TV. That's mostly for my girlfriend's benefit. She likes watching that shit. I stay on the internet.
I only watch TV Monday and Tuesday, and that's when I watch wrestling. Don't judge me.
No, man, I was a wrestling fan growing up. I mean, I fell out of it when I got older, but I missed the Monday Night Wars, man.
Oh man,
I miss flipping back and forth on commercial break between TNT and USA.
Yeah, ever since the Monday Night Wars stopped, man, it's like WWE. It's still all right, but it's just basically went downhill because they have no competition, and now with this PC era that they're in right now, it's like if they got competition right now that did opposite of what they're doing, they would quickly go back to the Attitude Era, in my opinion.
But yeah, that's when I was a wrestling fan. It was the Monday Night Wars, WCW, WWF. I mean, you'd flip back and forth between, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and like Goldberg and Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, that was a time right there. But that shit has changed.
I was always on Team WWE or WWF, whatever it was called at the time.
It was
my brother was really into WCW, so.
Well, I liked him. Like my mom, she was a big Sting fan, and my grandpa, he was a Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and all those guys. And so like I grew up watching those mostly, and then as I got older, kind of more transition towards, because I was still like the Attitude Era going on. You still had DX and The Rock still had hair.
Yeah, it's like me, like growing up during the 80s, it's like, I call all the Saturday Night Main Event and all that right there. And I was also like, that was back then when World Class Championship Wrestling down in Dallas, Texas, that was still going on. So it's like between between WWF, then there was like World Class Championship Wrestling. They used to come on like on Saturdays, and then like it was like later on in the afternoon, WCW would come on and shit like that. So it was like I got like 3 times of wrestling that day.
Yeah, they had Mick Foley at a WrestleFest a town over from here.
But yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with it. I think my mom, she still watches wrestling. Like she'll try and fill me in on it from time to time. And it's like, why are you telling me that all the people I know are gone? Like, I mean,
I'll buy the WWE video games and then realize that I don't recognize a single person in them, and then lose interest. So,
Oh man, I've been to so many WWE events and shit like that. I think the only thing is, you see them on TV, then you see them in real life, and I'm saying, especially like the divas and shit like that, them motherfuckers are damn near midgets. I'm like, damn, like damn, you short. It's like, because I remember like one time when they came down here in Texarkana, and like it was like Trish Stratus and shit like that. That Trish is an itty bitty thing, man. It's like, you look on TV and stuff like that, how she's looking like all, athletic and, like busty and shit like that. But then you see her in real life, I'm like, she is a tiny little thing. Like,
well, I remember meeting, I never met like, divas or, any of the managers and like that. I did get to meet Goldberg at a meet and greet one time because he's from Oklahoma, actually.
Yeah.
He's from Tulsa. And I remember standing in line for like 2 hours. I was like in 4th grade, I want to say. And by the time we get up there, I'm a kid. I was like, man, I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm tired of standing here. And we finally get up there. It's like, you got anything you want to say to him? It's like, no. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Well, like, I mean, this is a guy I'd seen on TV every week. He was right in the middle of the streak and everything. And it's like he towered over me at that point because I was still fairly young and short at the time. And it's just like this guy could pick me up with one hand and just throw me across the room. Like I don't know what do you say to a guy like that? Sign this, please. That was really all I could say.
Ask what color his yarmulke is.
At that point in time, I did not realize. Like I said, I was in 4th grade. I did not realize Goldberg meant Jew. Because I would have asked him about that. It's a very small community in Oklahoma. I think it's really just around like Tulsa. And the best part is like there's a movie called Leaves of Grass, and it's actually written and directed by Tim Blake Nelson. Which, if you don't know who that is, if you've ever seen the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He plays Delmer. We thought you was a toad. He's that guy. Hey, Hayes, how's it going, man? But yeah, he wrote this, and it's all based like in my area, southeastern Oklahoma for the most part. And they actually have a part of it where they're up in Tulsa at like the one Jewish temple that I can think of. As a temple, Beth Israel, I think is what it's called. And if I'm mistaken, that's where Goldberg went to services. I don't know, what do they call it?
Temple.
Shit out.
Yeah, where do we go from here, right?
Yeah. Actually, I have to get going.
Yeah, we always that's another one of the formats, I guess.
Yeah.
Talk about Indians.
We'll close it out, and then we'll wait another 45 minutes before we actually close it.
So this time Pat helped us out with that. That was, we were about to pack it in, and then Pat joined us, and then hey, now we've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I brought my excitement.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys?
Shit. Yeah.
Stay away from emus.
I said that, like I said, keep living the dream. Like I said, I know this is MLK Day, but it's been feeling anything but that. Well, on some people's part, so it's like shit.
I guess I'll just leave with my Twitter bio thing. Yeah, smoke them if you got them.
And yeah, I think as long as you can get someone to call you privileged, I think you've won an argument.
I think so.
Or if you can get them to call you white and the N-word in the course of 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's that's an automatic victory.
Or you could be like that one podcast dude, like I said, be black and be accused of white privilege.
That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I hate to break it to you,
but I'm black.
I was even saying that I hope that Sophane had called you white, like a white supremacist or something like that, because things got that heated.
Sophane has seen me. He knows what I'm saying. He knows what I look like.
If anything, he'd have to go with like the Tariq Nasheed approach, a suspected white supremacist.
Yeah, you got internal white supremacy.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get off here. I gotta go. I'm gonna grab me a bite to eat and go to sleep. I gotta get to work tonight. So.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right.
It's good talking to y'all. I'll see y'all later.
And in honor of Bloodwing coming back to YouTube, get off the lawn.
Nicely done.
All right. You guys have a good day.
All right.